So basically, I'm going to go through the story of Virtue's Last Reward and explain to you why I like Vi so much in this game. Okay, let's get started then. Vi can be considered a secondary protagonist or sidekick, but unlike most sidekicks or secondary protagonists, she's not a comedian, she's a very serious person. Let's go into her character. About Vi, she's a very stoic, wise woman. Well, she likes to be seen as that anyway. She's quite calm and collected woman, for most of this story anyway. She has a few quirks. She has a low-key love and appreciation of Zero Junior's puns. And she very occasionally messes up her words and calls things the wrong name that sounds similar. It's kind of a lost in translation joke, but they make it work somehow with their clever writing. Contrary to her cold demeanour she seems to have, she's quite caring, very caring actually, for all the characters besides Dio. She has a soft spot for Sigma specifically, though it seems something special between them. Who knows what it could be though? She seems to know him already. She says, Sigma, but you've never even met her before, how strange. She seems bizarrely comfortable as well, which is quite weird. Of course, Sigma asks how she's recognising you, and she has no idea. That's quite strange. She seems almost frustrated that she knows you, but doesn't know why, and she gets a bit stressed, like I said. So you change subject about the bracelet on your arms, and you talk about it for a while. She seems to be very knowledgeable about science and language that is Latin. It's revealed why she knows Latin in a later scene. There are a couple of scenes, I won't spoil, that make you think that she's putting a tough front on to not worry anyone or concern others. She hates people seeing her as vulnerable, and some people underestimate her. She hates this very much. She does more than she should, so people never underestimate her. Maybe in the past something happened in her life where she had to learn to rely for herself, alone. It is told her adopted parents are quite old, so maybe she has to take care of them, and it taught her not to concern others with her problems. Of course, I mean this is not a good thing completely. Vi goes a bit too far with her independence. Part of me believes this is a fault she realises herself, but she just doesn't stop doing it because it's just how she is. She seems to give her thoughts to Sigma and Sigma alone. Why this is a mystery. Maybe it's got something to do with her knowing your name. However, in certain scenes, if it draws suspicion to her, she won't mention anything and she'll leave it to herself, keeping her emotions and thoughts bottled up to herself. So, continuing the story of the escape room, you solve the puzzle, and now you have to jump out of the elevator that you're in. And she does. She jumps really high somehow, and it makes logic make no sense. Is it an anime thing? Oh well. You even ask how she did it and she just shrugs it off for some reason. You continue exploring the new area they're in that you're kidnapped to, and it seems there are more people, and Vi says it might be a warehouse that you're in. So you run to them and chat, and the characters that explain their situation and you two do the same too. Vi is quite quiet. Maybe it's because she's taking all the information in as much as possible and analysing their personalities, just in case. While she's doing that, Sigma makes a joke about Vi's seriousness, saying she's a bundle of laughs, and Vi is peeved and calls him out. Then Sigma calls her malnourished, and Vi swears at you. I won't say the swear word because it's a bit offensive, but yeah. You see an anagram, and Vi figures it out instantly, and then she does a play on words joke. So it's basically anagram, and she says, let's go tell her, anagram, tell her, Anna, about that anagram. That's so clever, to be honest. I like that joke. Because telegram and anagram are mixed up sometimes. And tell her, I don't know. It's funny though. After a chat, Vi is the one to bring up that someone could be the mastermind pretending to be an innocent person, making them all suspicious of each other. Well, someone had to say it. You go with Luna after picking her, and no complaints or anything. You start the puzzle room. The puzzle with amazing music, but that's not important. It's a lounge room that you're in. In this room, it's revealed Vi loves alcohol and likes to get tipsy and happy, She's a happy drunk, and not a sad or aggressive one. Well, that's what she says anyway. There's optional dialogue where you examine the drinks and you get a gag where she keeps talking about every flavour of alcohol drink in various ways, and you're like, damn girl, this girl is so thirsty for alcohol, damn. Wow. Is she bored? Probably, but that's not important. You have to get out of here. The puzzles, for the most part, are kind of filler and not really important, so I'm just going to skip to the end. They do have hidden meanings though, but I don't know. It's time to use your bracelets to vote. You'll get explained when you go in there. Oh no, there's a dead elderly woman and Sigma on fire panic. Fire looks concerned and shaken, but she still stays in charge of her emotions and general demeanour she's known for. At first glance, it seems she isn't bothered, but with the context of late game scenes, it's shown how caring she actually is. So the game recontextualizes her response. Part of this game's appeal is watching and playing multiple times to capture the little details. When new context changes the scene completely, I think it's really well done and impressive how it's done. It's a major part of the writing that I enjoy, because you go back to the game and it's like, oh my god, the scene is so different because you know why they're saying it. Whether it's their emotions that you know better, or a scene that context needs more of and you realise why they're saying it. Anyway, like I was saying, Vi really is concerned for the woman and she just gets shaken and shocked and wants to get out of here as fast as possible, which shows why she does what she does in the next scene. She continues to take charge and the group joins you, and she tells them to check her on the medical area for medical analysis and to also treat her with dignity. She might be old, but she's still a woman. She's also the first of the group to say to check her belongings and pockets for clues. It might be really bad, but it's necessary for survival and information for the best the group is in. Plot convenient medical analyzer machine that makes a little sense until you realise at the end how it's possible. Strikes, and you use it for information about the woman, like cause of death, age, time of death, and a handy written conclusion, neatly wrapping up the information all together. Luna uses this because she's a nurse in training. That's a bit weird though, because she says it in a weird way and it makes you suspicious of her, but she can use it, so she must be a nurse, right? Basically, you're told that the sharp pointed object caused her status of death. Vi gets suspicious of Kay, the big robot cloaked man, because she is found dead in the same room as Kay and Clover was asleep. It has to be him, she says. Then, as Kay's defense, he says, Zero Jr. says unexpected things will penalise you, but there's a dead body. Why didn't Zero Jr. say anything? Says Kay. Vi thinks, but she doesn't know, so she just thinks about other problems. She says thinking about possibilities is a waste without clear evidence, so she seems quite prudent. Kay says the murderer is Zero, and he thinks Zero is hiding somewhere, he hints. So Vi repeats it is Kay, because of the location, and she's certain of this, it seems. She prioritises evidence over theories. I mean, not wrong, but theories can be useful sometimes. So now Vi is suspicious of Kay, because his argument of Zero being it makes her think he is Zero. So now the ally betray game is explained. Both ally get 2 more points, both betray 0 points, and one ally 1 betray. One the betray gets 3 and the ally gets -2. Hit 0 or below then you die, but that's not explained yet. But explain the death on purpose to not scare you. You start at 5 anyway, so it's impossible to die now, so yeah. If you allied 2 times, that means you get to 9 really easily. The bad part is that things go wrong in various ways, and what could be a 2-hour game turns to like several hours long of playing because of the ally betraying. Talking of that, it seems the time is never explained because they don't know themselves, so it's like not really a thing explained much. The only time is when the AV game begins and that's it. By the way, the game in real life takes like 40 hours to play with the puzzle rooms included and all the multiple routes to make that time up. It's very long for a voice visual novel in English. You see why Vi is so important to this game later on with her unique power. She can sense things in different timelines. This is unique to like 10% of people in the world, and it's not a lot, but then you realise the world is so gigantic, so 10% is still a decent amount of people. It's unknown how they get it specifically, but to awaken the powers of the timeline future reading, you have to be under dire stressful circumstances, as shown in 999, the first game of the series. But as shown in 999, the game was unique because, well, major spoilers, listen at your own risk. You did it to save a single girl from death. changing the past to save the future of her life in a mysterious way. She was alive because of Schrodinger's cat dilemma. No one knew if she lived or died in the current timeline. That's how she was alive to change history in the timeline. So that's why she has to be saved. She has to create a very specific point of the game to make her live, basically. How this is a sequel to VLR is unknown, it's ambiguous, well, at the moment. The only link is Clover at the moment. Why is Clover here? It only takes place a few years later. But why is she here again? It's weird. I thought it was a new cast of characters. It makes sense that she's here, because it's only like 2 years later. But still, the truth of this mystery makes this make no sense, so later in the line you realise something major. I'll spoil it later. Okay, I'm turning into a Zero Escape character, going on tangents. Okay, continuing the story. Fi is screaming to betray. Why though? But maybe because there's a murderer aboard the warehouse. Of course she values her life, so she wants out. This is a bit of a selfish part of her character. Well, it's not selfish per se, but she values her life above other people, well, at first anyway. Actually, that's quite normal to value your life over others, because it's like a defense mechanic, isn't it? She thinks Luna will betray for some reason, I don't really know why. She says most people in this situation will betray, so yeah. Whether something happens that made her this way, see selfishness in people, or it's an excuse out of fear of being murdered, is up to interpretation. Then she says, when you're at 0 BP you die, which is not explained by Zero Jr. This strengthens her argument, but how does she know that? So now in the game you choose ally or betray, making a timeline of events splitting up, which is why the game takes so long to complete. There's a route for each character, a major character. Every ending has crucial information to further the plot, and some character endings are locked, so you can't go there until necessary routes are completed. Sounds confusing, but it's quite simple when you get there. Ally or betray, which will you choose in the next one?